The universe never wanted you to be an authentic version of yourself to get to those authentic dreams. It just wanted you to believe that you're worthy of getting them. And in order to do that, you have to elevate your mindset. And with me, Mackaira, your fairy godmother, you will learn how to do that today, right here, right now. So, welcome to my realm. You hear all the time that in order to get your dream reality, you have to change your thoughts and think more positive and X, Y, and Z, which all is true. But what happened to the version of yourself that you have became over these years? I genuinely believe that we didn't go through life just to discard the self that we have become. Because if I was to change who I am today just to get the dreams that I want tomorrow, it wouldn't be fair to that inner child that still exists within me. I wouldn't want to change my inner child so that she can become her most famous pop star. I would want her to be her most vibrant and loved self without changing who she is. Your dream reality is yours. It's not the world's. So don't let the world tell you how to become your dream person when you are already your dream person. You just want the physical evidence of it. So in order to do that, we are going to shift and debunk those limiting beliefs by listening to what's actually going on in our brain that I attempted to draw. I'm not going to say it looks bad because my inner child's listening. What's crazy is it's not even the past version of yourself that believes you're never going to get them. The thing is, you just have an expectation to be perfect when you get them. But what is perfection to you? Is it aesthetics? Is it what people perceive? Or is it how you perceive yourself to be? Define your perfect, but don't let the outside define it for you. Because if you do that, you're going to start believing that you have to perform. And perfection is not performative. Perfection just is. And if imperfection exists, perfection definitely does. So if you're one of those to tell me, oh, perfection does not exist, you can't be perfect, this is not the video for you. Now you're performing, so now you're being inauthentic. And with inauthenticity comes insecurities. You don't hate yourself. You hate that you're not being yourself. And with insecurities comes doubts. And with doubts come procrastination. And with procrastination comes voids. Because if you don't ever start, then it's always going to be here. That leads to emptiness. And emptiness leads to emotional despair. Which, if emotional despair is not cared for, it leads to suppression. The suppression of emotions leads to mental illnesses. And then mental illnesses leads to negative self-talk. It also leads to drainedness, uninspiration, desperation, numbness, tiresome, incompleteness, and etc. Because that can go even deeper and deeper and deeper, but we're not getting deeper and deeper and deeper because I don't want to stay on this low spectrum. I want balance because there's always two ends of a stick. Like Abraham Hicks said, there's negative, there's positive, there's day, there's night, there's light, there's dark. There's perfection, there's imperfection. So perfection is here, but when you're performing, you're not being true to you, which leads your mind to be clouded, which leaves a stink on your aura, which we're going to get into in a minute. But right now, we're talking about the mind, because the mind is what manifests your order. So in order to elevate from I would say, negative train of thought, we have to not delete, not ignore, not erase. We have to replace. Because if I was to erase these as if it never existed, I would never get to the root of them. Because a flower always has its roots. And these are important because they exist. And if it exists and we feel it's not supposed to be here, we have to figure out why it is here. So if I was to erase it like it's never been here, I would never figure out where it came from. We know that all of this came from performing. But where did performing come from? It came from the desire to be perceived as this beautiful being rather than actually being that being. So instead of just erasing inauthenticity, we are replacing inauthenticity with, I would say, confidence, which means you won't have insecurities. Insecurities will be there, but there will be balance. So in order to replace insecurities, we're going to have affirmations. Because at the end of the day, we do live on the earth that has dark and light energy. And there's energies and thoughts that don't come from us. And if we're not affirming to ourselves that, hey, it's going to be okay, I'm still the dopest person ever, then you won't ever allow yourself to be that. And you will allow those insecurities to form all of this. Now, when you affirm, you're eliminating doubts. So now what can we replace procrastination with? I would say inspiration, motivation, discipline, devotion. I believe you should have discipline over motivation. But I also believe you should have devotion over discipline. Because how am I supposed to have a routine that's going to give me all the money and all of the things that I want out of life, but then I go travel and I'm stressed out because I'm not on routine? Make it make sense. I would rather be devoted to my ideas, devoted to my business ventures, devoted to self-improving rather than disciplined. Because then it just sounds like schoolwork. Then it just sounds like something I have to do rather than something I want to do, which eliminates the procrastination for me. What can we replace voids with? We can't replace voids. We have to fill voids. And in order to fill voids, we have to be attentive to our mind. Because if we are attentive, we are paying attention to what we need to fill our own cups rather than what the world tells us to do. If I know generally I've been sad all this time, but when I paint, I get happy and get clarity on my sadness, then I just need to go paint. Rather than if the world tell me, oh, if I'm sad all the time, I just need to go to a therapy who's going to prescribe me with depression medication. Now, if you're attentive to your voice, you fill them up, which means you won't have emptiness. I would say you can replace emotional despair with positive self-talk and motivation. At the end of the day, the sun will always shine, yet the rainy days will still come. So if I am still motivating myself on the rainy days, not in a sense where it's like, it's okay, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, but in a sense where it's like, it's okay to feel these emotions because it won't be here forever, which means it won't lead to the suppression, because with attentiveness, we're eliminating suppression because we're paying attention to how we are and we're allowing ourselves to feel. So that can also be one of the things, is allowing. Allow the thoughts to pass. Allow yourself to feel the feels. And it won't become a mental illness. And then you won't have as negative self-talk because you got the positivity, you got the motivation. You won't be drained. You won't be numb. You won't be uninspired, because we can replace an inspiration with patience. The ideas will come to you with patience, because at the end of the day, everything happens when it's destined to, and everything happens for its own reasons. Then you won't be desperate if you're patient, because you won't be like, oh, when is this idea coming? Da, 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 da. Instead, you will be like, okay, it's coming. I'm still good within myself. I have confidence, and I affirm to myself that I am confident, and I am devoted to my path, so I won't ever give up on myself. Then you won't be tired from trying to gain that idea, from working yourself up over not getting the idea. Instead, you will be present and aligned, which is completeness, which means you have an elevated mind. Notice how there's way more things over here and there's way less things over here, because your mind is much more clear. Now let's talk about the benefits of this elevated mind and how it manifests your aura. All of these things I'm erasing didn't come from you originally, because your soul knows freedom and your soul knows its truth, and none of these things are its truth. It just came from outside of you, which is why we had to start with your mind, because your mind is inside of you and your mind manifests what is outside of you. Now that you have your elevated mind, it is time to reap the benefit of what that brings to you. Not only will you have clarity, you will also have freedom. And with clarity and freedom, you are limitless, which manifests a magnetic aura. So this is you, conquering your mind, exiling toxicity, depression, childhood traumas. You then gain a field. At first, you was just in your mind. Your brain is the physical manifestation of your mind. And so this was the field that your thoughts was in. It clouded your body. But now that you are free from that mind, you are able to go outside of that. This is where new ideas come in, because with clarity, limitlessness, and freedom, you are receptive to a new reality. So I'll also put receptivity. So now that you're receptive, you can then get anything that you want from those ideas. So you'll probably become a money magnet. And then I'm going to put love. And with love comes partnership. And now you're receiving community. And then you can receive the world, because you and your community will make a world together. And then once you have the world, you have the whole universe. Thank you for tuning in to this nice conversation. I hope you enjoyed this moment. I genuinely hope that you were able to take away something from this or learn something new today. I genuinely appreciate your presence. Don't let anything ever take away from your essence. And always remember that your dream life is destined. And with all that being said, I'll see you next time. Peace.
All right.